Oh. I'm a ghost. I'm a ghost. I'm a ghost. Okay. Whew. There we are. Hello, everybody. Good evening, horror and chaos be to you in the name of RUNIE Ruse. Now, lunatics, welcome one another as I shall welcome you. Hi, hi. Wow. Why must I begin stream? Why must I begin stream? Oh, my treadmill is doing a weird thing. Why are you so weird? Why are you doing this? Pause a moment, pause a moment. It's like it feels like shaky. Perhaps I don't have the same level of hunger. Alright, let's try this again. No! I don't want to get a new one. It's like chugging. You know what? If you set it fast enough, you can hardly tell. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. No, it's not a fire alarm. It's just my treadmill. It's not that old. It's not that old. I got it not that long ago at all. What the heck? Wow. How often do you use treadmill lubricant? I have some, but I haven't used it yet. To be quite honest, I don't know where to put it. Or, I didn't know if I'd really need it or not. I kept it since they sent it with it. You know, sometimes they're extra, you know, they be sending all that extra stuff. Between the belt and the machine. I'll look it up and do it. Because I do still have it. I kept it just in case. So I can do that next. Just put a few drops under the belt every few months. I mean, I hardly use the thing. I hardly use it. Surely it's just dripping in oil. It's overcome with insane amounts of oil. Anyways, I was trying to say something. Why is it that I begin this stream and the first thing that I see is someone cheering upon the possibility of me missing a ruse day, as if that is a good thing that you all look forward to and want. You're not rooting for me at all. You're not even rooting for me. You want me to fail? Is that what this is? You're secretly praying for my downfall? I actually am going to be in a little bit of a pickle next week because I have to go out of town for a demon army business. And I don't know how I'm going to squeeze in a stream on Tuesday, but I'll do my best. I really don't want to pre-record it if I don't have to. There's like, I've got two options. I can either like get off of work on Tuesday and then run home. Yeah, like literally do like a 30-minute, maybe an hour-long stream at like 6, maybe even like 5:45, just to do like really short stream. and then leave because I have like a several hour drive that night. Or I can, after work, go ahead and get to my destination and do a very late stream scuffed from a hotel. We'll see. But it is technically possible for me to do a live stream, so I do want to at least try. I'm afraid to do the hotel one because what if it like actually just the hotel Wi-Fi just like doesn't work and I actually can't get the stream up? I mean, I say that, but it should be fine because even worst case scenario, I could always just use the hotspot on my phone. You know? I can hotspot my phone. I'll probably do that because I'll be really stressed the other way around. Yeah. I'll probably do that. You guys will get like a scuffed hotel stream. What the heck? What the heck? Happy RUNIE RUSEDAY. So I'm going into the Discworld stuff 100% blind aside from seeing your tweets, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts in more detail. I always love to hear your thoughts on your passions, loves, and hates. 10 out of 10 Oshi Yap love. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited to be talking about Discworld today. I have lied to you. I have deceived you. I am a horrible, foul, wretched woman who couldn't approach the truth if my life depended on it. I thought that I would finish the 10th book in time, but I didn't actually finish it. So we're actually only going to do the first 9 books today because I'm not quite done with the 10th book yet. Wait, so Ruseday is now on Wednesday too? What? What? Did Perona forget to send out the messenger imps with the update? No, Ruseday always Tuesday. Wednesday, I can't stream usually. How close are you with the 10th book? I'm almost done with it. I'm close to finishing it. I am more than halfway through. I think I'm like 3/4 of the way through. So I'm close to having finished it, but I haven't quite finished it yet, so I don't want to rank it yet. I'm so tired. You guys, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Why am I so sleepy? I was like, the reason I was late to stream is because I was sleeping once again because I got home from work and was like immediately like, I am going to pass out and die. I need to sleep. So then I took a nap, right? So then I took a nap. Then I woke up and I felt a little bit better, so I ate some dinner, and then I immediately got super tired again. That's why I was like, I feel like I should get my treadmill out for today's stream. Wow. Because if I try to just like stand here or sit down and do the stream, I think I'm actually gonna just fall asleep. It's a dangerous sleep. It's like, it's not normal levels of sleepy. It's not the sleepy that I'm used to. I mean, trust me, I went through university where I was barely getting any sleep at all. I am not unfamiliar in any way, shape, or form with utter exhaustion. But this is different. It's not just like I feel tired. It's like I actually think I'm going to fall asleep. Like I actually today like had to really sit down and think, is it safe for me to drive home? Because I have a 30-minute drive home and I actually don't know if I'm gonna make it. It can't, the reason I don't think it's just that it's old age or whatever is just because it happened so suddenly. It's like one day I was fine, very little changed in my life, and now I feel like this all the time. the big thing that changed was my diet. So it has to be a diet thing. It has to be a diet thing. It's just too big of a coincidence that I changed my diet and now I'm getting these like bouts of really uncontrollable sleepiness. It was like literally the same time. I know, I traded migraines for narcolepsy, but it's not even funny. I don't want to have headaches and I don't want to be sleepy. It could be cancer, you're right. You're right, you're probably right, it's probably cancer. Like everything else. That's what WebMD tells me. It's not like you're eating less calories, right? No, I probably am. I'm probably eating a similar amount or less, I would say. Similar or less. Yeah, WebMD said I had 10 minutes to live. This is it, you guys. 10-minute stream, let's go. But I eat so much tuna already. Briefcakes. Ah, Umbrella, you got the super rare briefcakes. Hi, Rooney. Happy Ruseday. Safe travels next Tuesday. Hope you stay in a hot spot as you go mobile. I'm sure I will. I'm sure it'll be fine. I know absolutely nothing about these books, but if past experience is anything to go off, then I might end up reading them because of you after tonight. Ha ha ha. Yes, read them, read them. Happy Ruseday. Today we have learned that there is nothing more evil than being 24 hours late for a Ruseday. Truly, she's the most evil of evil women. Ha ha. You guys liked that, right? Waiting. I was over 24 hours late. Ha ha. You can never say I'm on time ever again. The BBC has done some made-for-TV adaptations of Terry Pratchett stories. They're not bad. Some can be found on Amazon. Yes, you guys have told me about that before. Because Sean Astin and the goat... You guys know who I'm talking about. Have been in them. Ah, my brain. My brain. Just... But you guys know, you know who I'm talking about. I mean, there might be a goat as well, but I'm talking about the goat. Tim Curry, thank you. Are we getting character rankings too? I feel like you'll really like Ridcully in the future. Yeah, maybe once I see more characters, we can do a character ranking, but I definitely haven't met, like, I know, like, the core cast yet of Terry Pratchett characters. So I don't want to do it yet. I've only read the first 9 books, almost done with the 10th, so maybe we should switch over. Ooh, wow. Ooh. Ooh. If miracle. Good Ruseday evening, Rooney. Hope you feel better soon and safe travels next week. Have you checked with a doctor or nutritionist about your diet? I know that blood tests can help with dietary planning. That's what I think my next step is going to be. I'm going to have to talk to a doctor again about what's going on, but like maybe do like a full checkup. It's about time for my yearly checkup anyways. But because something ain't right. What's happening here? Something ain't right. Hold on, I can be more up. I have more room. Ta-da! See if we can't figure out what's going on. Now, I have a bone to pick. I have a bone to pick with this. It is not in release order. Why wouldn't they put these books in release order, huh? These aren't in release order. They're all jumbled up. They're jumbled. This is no order at all. So first we have to do that. So the first book is The Color of Magic, then The Light Fantastic, then Equal Rights. And where is it? Where is it? I don't even see it on here. There it is. Then Equal Rights. Then Mort. Then Sourcery, which I really liked. Spoilers. Where is it? Middle left. Bottom. No. We Free Men, The Truth, The Last Continent, Making Money, Sourcery. There we go. Sourcery. Ah, congrats on the rares and gotcha. Hey, this is not enough syllables. Gotcha, who? Gotcha, hey. Gotcha, who, day. Okay, maybe it works after all. I take it back. It works after all. Then Wyrd Sisters. Then Pyramid. Pyramids was very weird. Spoilers. Gods. I love impressing people with my horse impression. I've never had like an impression that impressed people before. I've never been much of a impressionist. So I have to say it feels quite good to be good at something. You know? Feels quite nice. Now where the heck is guards? Oh, I found it. Okay, now we have at least the first 10 books are in order here. Nice. Your British accent is quite convincing if we think of a Victorian era lady. Oh, well, these are British books, so I suppose I could do this all in a British accent. Maybe something a little more subtle. Or I could go crazy, like a foot on Cockney. What do you think about all Terry Pratchett book? Well, I've done read almost through the first 10 of them. I gotta say, I think I quite like it. You what, Ma? I read through them. I read through the first 10 of them. Yes. Now, this is what makes the Terry Pratchett, the Discworld books, surprising to me, because I do not usually vibe very well with British humor, but I find the humor in these books to be very good. I was communicating with you. Okay, fine, I'll do something more posh. So, as I've said, I have read through almost the first 10 books. I've stopped at Moving Pictures. I have not quite finished Moving Pictures yet. But I'm almost finished with it. But I will refrain from giving it a final score today because I do want to just stick to the books that I have actually finished. It feels a little more fair. Now, I should do a poll. I should do a quick poll and say, have you read Discworld? Any at all is fine. And a yes or a no. I kind of want to get a little bit of an idea of how many in the audience here have like any idea of the books or not. It's subtle yet cheeky. It's a good kind of humor. I think that maybe for me the kind of subtle, dry, like ultra dry humor maybe just works better in book form than it does in like TV show form. Because you guys are gonna hate me for this, but like the Monty Python stuff even, I'm always like, it's not all that funny to me. Why is it called Discworld anyways? Well, let me tell you. The Discworld is shaped like a disc. Like a flat disc. And it rests upon the back of 4 great elephants, who themselves are standing upon the back of the one and only great Atuin, the sky turtle. Yeah, it's flat Earth. It is a flat Earth, yes. Yes, surrounded by the circumference, not fence, the circumference. And there's rainbows and waterfalls dripping off the edge of it, and you can, in fact, fall off the edge of the world. All right, that made 0 sense, yes. That's one thing that I think you have to know. Yeah, I guess maybe I should give an overview of my... Yeah, let's start there. I'll give you guys an overview of my impression of the Discworld series as a whole. The Discworld series as a whole is fantastical and witty and over the top to like goofy, cartoonish levels. If you like your fantasy more grounded, if you're like ride or die, grim, dark fantasy, this might not be for you. But if you're willing to just embrace the wacky, it's a really, really good time. It's absurd in the best way, and it's genuinely very funny. It's like that effortless kind of humor where it doesn't really seem like Terry Pratchett is having to work all that hard. It doesn't even usually feel like he's gone out of his way to set up a joke when the jokes land. It's just like it flows together naturally, even though that's definitely not the case. He is definitely going out of his way to set up jokes, but it's just done so seamlessly that it doesn't feel exhausting to read. It's just very funny. I'm always in a better mood after reading one of the books. It just lifts my spirits. It makes me smile. It's just very smart, too. Very smart humor. Introduced me to Pratchett, called it deconstructed jokes on stereotypes. Yes, so a lot of the... Well, I would say there's like 2 levels of humor here. One is just like good character work humor, in my opinion. It's just funny characters interacting with each other in very funny ways, very funny observations that ring very true to life. You know, things that you've thought about people before, or you'll be like, I know exactly this type of person that's being described right now. There's like that, and then there's a more overarching level of humor where almost everything is satire. So these books started coming out in the 80s, and a lot of the overarching plots and themes and world building is basically set up just to be a subversion of really popular fantasy tropes. But even beyond that, like, I mean, there will be entire books that are basically just like a satire retelling of a famous story, like a Shakespearean story or something like that. And just in general, there's a lot of references to kind of funny, absurd things that we actually do in our world. And the way that he will translate them into the fantasy world just kind of highlights how absurd it is. So, for example, one of the characters that you meet first is Two Flower, and he's an insurance agent. But he's an insurance agent in the fantasy world. And it's just it's so silly the way that they go about describing it in that context. But it's also hilarious because it really makes you think about, in sewer ants, And it makes you think about how absurd insurance is in our actual world. So it's very fun. They're very, very fun. I think the character work is fun. And honestly, this series has really saved fantasy for me. Other than Lord of the Rings, I have a really hard time getting into fantasy books. There's just so much out there, I think, right now, especially in like this era of fantasy, that's just so, I don't know. It's either just like 3 other books that I've read with like a slightly different twist, or it's just too dark, or I don't know. I have trouble getting into it, but this was so fresh, so unique. When I say that I have never, ever, ever read a fantasy book like any of these books, I definitely mean it. And there's like there's no really comparing this to anything else. It is very much so its own thing. So if you're interested, I think you should definitely give them a read. They're also not very long. They're pretty short. So it's just not even going to take much of your time to give it a shot. So if you like reading, if you like fantasy, if you think that kind of wacky world will appeal to you, I definitely recommend giving them a read. There's something amazing about British authors. Tolkien, Pratchett, Austen, Dickens, Orwell. You might have a point. You might have a point. But yes, obviously, I like this series because I have been racing through it. Like I said, I'm on the 10th book in the series. Now, there are a few different ways to read the series. I chose to read it in publication order. Now, apparently a lot of people do not actually recommend reading the series in publication order, just because they think the first few books aren't the best. It took him a while to like kind of catch his stride. A lot of people recommend starting with this book, Sourcery. I think, if I remember correctly, Terry Pratchett himself, who has passed away, by the way, may he rest in peace, recommended starting with Sourcery. However, I'm gonna say I don't get that at all. I don't think there's any problem with starting at the very beginning. Maybe it's just me and my particular tastes, but I was completely hooked by The Color of Magic. And even now that I've gotten to more like highly renowned books like Sourcery and Guards, personally, I find that The Color of Magic and The Light Fantastic really hold up, in my opinion. I really, really like those books. I really like them. So I'm going in publication order. But if you know, that's just something to think about it if you don't know where you want to start. So, but yeah. So let's just start with this. Let's start with The Color of Magic. I'm going to try to keep these kind of spoilers free, since it does seem like the majority of people, so like 70% of you guys, haven't actually read any of the books. So I'm going to try to keep these kind of spoiler free, so that if you do choose to go and read them, you can. So I'm just going to give you kind of like rough overviews of what happens and what I liked about the book. So The Color of Magic, this is your introduction to the Discworld, which was such a trip because I haven't even scratched the surface of the wacky nature of this world and everything that goes in it. So just discovering it for the first time and going, wait, what? And feeling my brain like having to rearrange my thoughts and expectations to even get in the right mindset to read this book was such a fun experience. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I really found reading The Color of Magic to be a colorful and magical experience. So The Color of Magic follows the two main characters, Twoflower and Rincewind. Rincewind is a wizard, but he's a terrible wizard. He only knows one spell, and he can't even use it, and he's a coward. He cares about his own survival more than anything else, and can have a bad attitude, very negative, very pessimist type. He's a guy failure, so you guys know how I feel about it. I love him with all of my heart and my soul. I'm obsessed with Rincewind. When I finish all the books with Rincewind in them, I'm going to be very sad. because I love Rincewind. Yeah, Rincewind, my kind of wizard. He's so good. And then, of course, we've got to pair the pessimist with an optimist. So Two Flower is from the counterweight continent. You know, because they're on a disc. So imagine a continent that's of different size, but the same density. That's the counterweight continent. And he is there as a tourist. So he shows up in one of the most dangerous and iconic cities in the world, Ankh-Morpork, as a tourist. And he is bubbly and naive and sweet and optimistic, the complete opposite of Rincewind. And Rincewind, through machinations, ends up having to be basically his tour guide against his will. And Two Flower commences getting Rincewind into all sorts of shenanigans and horrors beyond his imagination. And then, of course, we have the luggage. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. I can't forget to talk about the luggage. Should I tell you about the luggage, or should I just let you discover the luggage? You know what? I think it's worth it to just briefly describe the luggage to you. The luggage is like your mascot type character. The luggage is that old, reliable, loyal to their master pet character that you root for, and you always feel like a little bit relieved when it shows up to save the day. And what is the luggage? The luggage is it's a wooden trunk that has a bunch of tiny little human-looking feet on the bottom of it that can walk around, and it can, yes, like literally, and it can eat people. It can store things inside of itself, of course, but it can also eat people. And it has an angry temper. Yes, one of the most deadly things on the disc. It is kind of like having a pet mimic, yes, that can walk on its tiny little feet. And it's amazing, and we love the luggage here. So, the Color of Magic, it's kind of like 4 little stories all mixed into one. So a lot of people don't consider it like the first novel in the series, because it's basically just like 4 novellas put together. I don't get that particular. It's the first novel in the series as far as I'm concerned. But I think it's important to read it before you read the Light Fantastic, because you get a lot of context and you really start to get to learn about Rincewind's character and Two Flower's character, and they have a lot of development in the Light Fantastic. I would say all the other books that I've read could be read by themselves. Like, you don't really need to read them in any sort of order. They're very episodic. But I would recommend reading The Color of Magic and then The Light Fantastic, which is the second book that came out. It sets up the tone of the rest of the books. I really think it does. I really do think it does. Pratchett is my literary Kamiyoshi since I was a kid. It makes me so happy that you're loving his work. I'm so glad you guys recommended him to me, because I've been enjoying him so much. Another author that makes the fantasy genre more accessible and outright references and says Pratchett was an inspiration is Jim Butcher. He does great modern fantasy works with a ton of humor. Well, color me curious. Jim Butcher. I will definitely look into them if that is the case. All right. After this, I'm gonna have to reread the entire series once again. Yes! So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put The Color of Magic in A tier. The Color of Magic as an opening book is, now that I've read more, it's not my absolute favorite, but I love The Color of Magic. I look upon it very fondly. It totally grabbed me, pulled me into the world. I fell in love with it so fast. I'm always gonna, I remember where I was and what I was doing while I experienced it for the first time. I was trying to prep and figure out the recipes for the Halloween Black Rose Lounge. So like I physically remember like reading and like drinking and making syrups and stuff at the same time. I'll never forget that core memory because I just was having so much fun with it. So the Color of Magic is a solid A tier for me. So next up is the Light Fantastic. This also follows Rincewind and Two Flower. So it kind of continues their adventures through, you know, the end of Two Flower's vacation overseas. I think of how to summarize it. Basically, this one has more of like a higher stakes, overarching storyline where essentially it appears that Great Atuin is going to sail into a star, and they think it's going to be the end of the world. And so they want to get the most powerful 8 spells of the world, of the original grimoire of the creator of the world. And they think that maybe if they can say those or something at the end that, whew, my treadmill did something weird, that they can stop the end of the world. And the big problem with that is that one of those 8 spells is the one spell that Rincewind knows and can't say. So it's kind of about like the different factions and how they're all reacting to this like impending apocalypse that's coming and how different people are trying to stop it, and Rincewind trying to survive as Two Flower just has a grand old time exploring the world. Is the turtle male or female? I can't tell you that. That is actually one of the questions that the curious people of the Discworld are trying to figure out. So I will let you figure it out as you read. Don't say wow spoilers, I didn't say. It is. It's lore. Chat spoilers never RUNIE. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I never spoil you guys. Never spoil you guys. In the Light Fantastic, you also meet Cohen the Barbarian. He becomes a really big character in this. And I love Cohen the Barbarian. Cohen the Barbarian was a grand, incredible, over-the-top hero. Think like, I shouldn't say this because then this character gets like very clearly paralleled later on, but like think like an Odysseus, I guess. Like, and he is now very old. He's old now, like comically old. He doesn't have his teeth anymore. But he's still very, very powerful. He's really fun. It's a parody of Conan the Barbarian, but he is, I don't think I'm mixing up. The character is Cohen the Barbarian, which I believe is a parody of Conan the Barbarian. Beware of a man who's grown old in a profession where most die young. Exactly. Exactly. And he still has the charm. It's true. So he's a really, really fun addition to the crew. And it's funny, I don't know. I guess I don't have much of like a summary to say more than what I described without getting like really in the weeds of the specifics of like what was going on in it. But what I will say is that I really liked the Light Fantastic. I liked it more than the Color of Magic. The ending of it touched my heart. I was like, ah, like that. I thought it was very fun. I was riveted the entire time. It made me love Rincewind more. It made me love Two Flower more. It made me love the luggage more. And the whole world more. I thought it was very fun. I really liked it. And this is an S tier book for me. I've been wanting to go back and reread it already. Like before I read a next book, I always stop and think, should I just reread The Light Fantastic again? And this is why I say a lot of people really don't think that Terry Pratchett had gotten his stride yet for these first 2 books. But I disagree. I think it was great. Like, it was genuinely so freaking good, and I really, really liked it. But I'm also a sucker for Rincewind. I really like that type of character, and I really like that type of character with a character like Two Flower. You guys know this is a literary device that always works for me. I've liked it since I was a kid. Give me a Rabbit and Tigger. Give me a Lumiere and a Cogsworth. Give me a Two Flower and a Rincewind. I'm gonna be happy. 2 thumbs up. So, I might be biased in that sense. You spoil us with every stream. What do you mean? No, not that kind of spoiling. Sorry for tangent. Couldn't send earlier, was driving. Saw Sinners in theater based on your recommendation. I really enjoyed it. Yay! Oh my god, I'm so glad you liked it. Yeah, if any of you guys haven't seen Sinners yet and you like horror movies, definitely go give it a shot. And also, the trailer dropped. The director who did Barbarian and Companion, movies that I really liked, the director who's also going to be doing the upcoming Resident Evil, new trailer for his movie Weapons came out. And it looks really good. The plot of that is basically an entire kindergarten class wakes up in the middle of the night, walks out their front door, and disappears into the night. Just the students of one particular kindergarten class. So that's the plot going into the movie. It looks really good, so I'm super excited. That comes out in August. Anyways, back to Discworld. The next book is Equal Rights. Equal Rights is where we veer away from Rincewind for the first time. So Equal Rights follows Granny Weatherwax and a little girl named Escarina, who goes by Esk. Now, in the world of the disc, women are witches and men are wizards, and these are 2 very different things. They both use magic, but they use them in very different ways. And like the cultural expectations, the way they interact with each other between the witches and the wizards is very different, right? Well, the problem is that Esk has been given the magical power passed down to her from a wizard who didn't realize that she was going to be a girl and not a boy. So this has happened by mistake. So not only does she have magical power, she has like significant magical power. Like, she's very, very powerful. She's also very stubborn and headstrong, and she wants to be a wizard. Granny Weatherwax, who is very happy at the beginning of the story with the traditional ways and doesn't really like wizardry and thinks that it's showy and kind of crass. She likes the way that women do magic. She thinks it's important for women to do magic the way that a witch does magic. She takes Esk under her wing, kind of reluctantly, but because she, is like, well, someone's gonna have to look after her, right? And she's raising Esk, but of course Esk still, at the end of the day, she doesn't want to be a witch, she wants to be a wizard. Granny Weatherwax, ones that speaks a sentence ahead of people? I don't think so. But maybe I'm just not thinking of a joke. But Granny Weatherwax's big thing is that she's a very fun protagonist. Definitely your classic, like, reluctant hero. In the sense that you can always get the feeling that she'd much rather be doing other things, but she does have a kindness and a sense of duty that will lead her to do whatever she can to help another person. Like, even when she does not agree with Esk, like, she's ride or die for Esk. She took Esk under her wing. She's gonna make it happen, right? She is really, really endearing. I can't imagine anybody would read it and not like a Granny Weatherwax. I really, really liked her a whole lot. Eska is fun too. Of course, she's a little kid, so she's kind of annoying, but I also kind of liked that. She was annoying in that very authentic little kid way, the way little kids really are, a little bit annoying. So I thought they were both very well written. Granny Weatherwax embodies fine. I'll do it myself. It's true. And yes, all the names in this series are very, very fun. So yeah, that's what Equal Rights is about. This is also a very fun book. I really liked it. I really enjoyed meeting Granny Weatherwax. I really enjoyed learning more about what's called the Unseen University. This is where the wizards go to school. You get to see a good bit of it actually in the first two novels, but I feel like you get to see even more of the shady sides of it in Equal Rights. Where I will say that Equal Rights, and sometimes Terry Pratchett's stuff in general, loses me a little bit, is it can get very in the weeds with like magic. How do I describe? I feel like there's a word I'm trying to say. Is it existential? Like sometimes when he describes like what's going on in like with magic in the universe, I don't always understand. Maybe esoteric might be the way. Esoteric might actually be the word I'm looking for. I don't know, it kind of goes over my head a little bit. The magical version of technobabble, kind of, yeah. I'm not a big fan of that kind of magical system. I don't know, like, I don't want to, I don't want magic to feel like philosophy to me. I don't find it very pleasant. And there are a few times in the series so far where it's kind of gone that way. I would say the ending of Equal Rights really felt that way to me, where I kind of felt lost in the sauce and was like, I don't really know what's happening anymore. I'm not sure if I care. Are they making it out of the dungeon dimension or question mark kind of thing? So that's a personal taste issue. Because of that, this definitely doesn't make S tier for me, but I did really like it. I still like the Color of Magic better. I'm gonna put it in B tier. That might be a hot take. But it was good, and I did like it, and I was really happy to meet Granny Weatherwax. Once you've read them all, there exists a few TV movie series based on some of the Discworld books. Hogfather especially is a really lovely adaptation. I definitely, once I'm caught up with everything, want to check out the adaptations. Alright, next is Mort. Now here we take a turn once again to focus on a different set of characters. Now there's a character that I have not mentioned to you guys up until this point that has been in all of the books so far. I believe he's even in Equal Rights. And that is Death. Death is a prominent character in the Discworld. He shows up. He usually has a funny line here or there. And is very interesting, is very compelling. And I was super excited to get to learn more about Death in Mort. So Mort follows the story of Mort. He is kind of a talentless question mark kid. And he's trying to get an apprenticeship. It's not going well. And somehow or another, he ends up the apprentice to who? But Death himself. So the physical embodiment of Death takes Mort on as his apprentice and starts teaching him how to be a soul reaper. And Mort takes a while to adjust to this because, you know, as a mortal human, it is, as you can imagine, kind of difficult for him to see the end of people's lives, and also to feel like he's taking it, though he's not really. I mean, he's just there to collect the soul, right? And then he also meets Death's adopted daughter, whose name is escaping me right now. I like fiction that has death as a character, so I'm especially intrigued by this one. I think you will really like it. It's a very nuanced take. No, it's not Susan. No, his daughter's name is like... Wow. Save the Soul Society, Mort. Isabel. Thank you. His adopted daughter is Isabel. Yeah. So, basically it follows Mort's journey on, you know, learning how to be a Reaper and getting into some trouble when, let's just say, he doesn't collect a soul when he should have. And it causes some shenanigans. I don't want to spoil it because I think it was very fun to discover for myself. So I don't want to spoil it, but I think that the take on the afterlife in Discworld is really fun and unique. And it's entertaining to see characters wrestle with it. All the characters that die and like when they have conversations with death, it's done in a way that I appreciate, like, doesn't make you, like, want to die. It sounds like it could be so morbid and depressing. It could very easily be milked in a dark, edgy direction. And Mr. Pratchett does not do that, which I appreciate because I don't really like stuff like that. It's very, even when it is kind of sad, even when you do feel a little, like, poignant, like, ugh, there's just this layer of dry humor on top of it that makes it so much more palatable. I really enjoy it, and that is like on full display, shining brightly in all of Mort. So I really liked this book. Mort was very good. Now I haven't read any of the other death books yet. This is the only one I've read so far, but I am looking forward to diving back into that world because I did really enjoy it. And I really enjoyed Mort as a character. I would say up until this point, Mort has like the best character development from beginning to end of a single book. Because, you know, Rincewind more or less, he's improved, but he's more or less himself at the end of the Life Fantastic. And Granny Weatherwax, same. Like, she's more or less improved, but she's also more or less herself. But Mort is really a coming-of-age story. You really get to see this young man grow into himself and into his own confidence. It's really, really nice. So, I like it. I like it. I'm going to put it in... where do I put this, you guys? Yeah, I haven't gotten to Reaperman yet, but I think that's coming really close. Oh, that's right after Moving Pictures, right? So I'm gonna read Reaperman next. I'm thinking I might put it in S tier, yeah. Okay, we're gonna put this in S tier. Ooh, oh my gosh. My treadmill's doing goofy things, you guys. Next is Sourcery. Let me spoil something. I'm gonna spoil something. I don't know how you guys are gonna feel about this. It goes to the top of S tier. It goes to the top of S tier. I loved Sourcery. Sourcery is by far my favorite book so far. I loved Sourcery. I love Sourcery. When I read it, I was like, I see why people say to start with this book, because I genuinely think it's fantastic. The opening scene of this book is so ridiculously good. The opening scene of this book, I'm gonna describe it to you. But there's this concept in the Discworld where, with the number 8, the number 8 is a very magical number. So like an 8th son would be, you know, a wizard. And the 8th son of an 8th son would be, I think it goes through to an 8th son of an 8th son would be a powerful wizard. And then the 8th son of an 8th son of an 8th son, I believe, becomes a sorcerer. So a sorcerer is like a more powerful, more raw version of magic that's basically forbidden because it completely undoes the balance of the world and is super, super dangerous. So like you don't want sorcerers. So like you're not supposed to create sorcerers. This is something that you're not supposed to be doing, right? 8th son of an 8th son of an 8th son. Okay, I got it right. So it's 3. It's 3 times. The 8th son of an 8th son of an 8th son becomes a sorcerer. Anyway, so the opening of this book shows this wizard, and he has had an 8th son, right? And death has come for him, and he basically just refuses to die, refuses to acknowledge that he's done something wrong. He tricks death by trapping himself into his son's staff, with like his staff that he's passing on to his son. And like that's how you start the book. 8th son, no daughters mentioned, because daughters would become traditionally witches, unless you're Escarina, who did in fact become a wizard. I feel like I'm not explaining it very well. I can't read the story as well as, I can't reiterate it as well as it reads. But the opening scene is so high stakes and it just sucks you into the story. I was really, truly, like I was in. I read that opening scene and I was in. I was invested. I wanted to know what happened. This is also another Rincewind story, so there's that. Perhaps I am biased once again, though Two Flower is not in this one. But basically the story follows this young boy who is an insanely powerful sorcerer coming to Unseen University and taking over, and they have to do something about it because sorcery was forbidden for very good reasons. It is too powerful, it is too dangerous. So they kind of have to figure out a way to handle this young kid who has insane amounts of extraordinary power. It definitely plays on that horror concept of like a creature that is not fully developed being very, very powerful, which I personally, that's a horror concept that I really like. This is not a horror book, don't get me wrong, but it does have that one specific flavor that I really like, which you see it all the time. I mean, even Alien is kind of like that, where it's a super powerful creature that sleeps like a little baby when it takes its nap. Like it doesn't have the human processing power yet. So like here you have this kid who's like literally just a small boy who does not understand the grander world and does not have a handle on his emotions, like could still just have a temper tantrum at any point, and like is insanely powerful, like has the power to back up his temper tantrum. I think is very fun. Looming terror, impending doom. But I like it. It's good. I love Sourcery. I love Sourcery. It's great. It's my favorite that I've read so far. I would love to go back and read it again. The Librarian! I haven't mentioned the Librarian yet, but the Librarian of Unseen University is an orangutan. He gets turned into an orangutan at the beginning of... this isn't really a spoiler, by the way. But he gets turned into an orangutan at the beginning of The Life Fantastic. And it's great. He's a great character. Ook. Ook. Ook, ook. You will like it. You might think, huh? But you will end up really liking and rooting for the orangutan. Librarian is great. He unironically loves being... Yeah, he didn't want to get changed back. He was like, don't try to change me back. Ook, ook. Thumbs up. Yes, and do not call him a... Monkey. Don't do it. Terry Pratchett's interpretation of libraries and the way he writes about books in libraries too is also very, very fun. So when you get scenes with libraries, they're always magical in a really nice, refreshing way. All right, the next book is Wyrd Sisters. We've gone back to the witches. So this is another book led by Granny Weatherwax. It's Granny Weatherwax and these two other witches in her quote-unquote coven. You've got... Why am I blanking on names? Hold on, let me look it up. Nanny Og and Margaret. Thank you. Okay, so the other two witches are Nanny Og and Margaret. So you've got Granny Weatherwax, who I've already explained to you. She's kind of rigid, she's set in her ways, she gets things done, she has a good heart, but, you know, she is who she is. She can be a little rough around the edges. And then you've got Margaret. She's the youngest of the three witches. She's really trying to prove herself. She is a little more whimsical, and she, you know, likes dressing up with like skulls and occult symbols and jewelry, and she puts flowers in her hair. And then there's Nanny Og. Nanny Og is unique in that most witches don't go on to have families, but Nanny Og was like, she went and had herself a family. She's very happy-go-lucky, easygoing, goofy. Like, she can be a little rambunctious. She's very, very fun. Except that Nanny Og was always a matron, even before she was one. That's a very good example of Terry Pratchett humor right there. Yeah, basically Nanny Og got it. She gets it and she got it. She's much less rigid than Granny Weatherwax. So it's really nice to see the three of them interact together. They have a very fun dynamic. You know, people say this about Brandon Sanderson, that he like writes anime tropes in his novels, but I feel like this trio has very anime vibes to me, the way that they interact with each other and their personalities and how distinct that they are. And their bickering gives me like anime trio vibes. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's very, very fun. Wyrd Sisters, like I said, is one of those books that's basically a parody of another story. So this is like a parody of Hamlet, but it's very fun. The stakes never feel all that high. Like, the stakes felt so much higher in Equal Rights than they do in Wyrd Sisters, but I like that because you kind of just get to like take a step back, breathe, and watch Granny Weatherwax just be an absolute blast to observe. She's such a badass in this book. Like, you don't mess with Granny Weatherwax, okay? When you get on her wrong side, like, it's so over for you. It's so over. This book is really good. It's very solid. I could see this as a contender of like maybe where you should start. I also just want to point out that I really like the way that Terry Pratchett writes women. He does this with men as well, definitely. But I feel like you see this more with men than you do with women. Like, he does have beautiful women in his books, don't get me wrong. There's usually at least one scantily clad, beautiful woman, so don't think that there's not. But he's not afraid to write, like, an average-looking or an ugly woman. Isabel is another example. Like, she's not described as particularly pretty. Like, he's just not afraid to, like, have an unattractive woman in his books. And he even will poke fun and point out, like, if they're chubby, like, he will just kind of ruthlessly point out that they're chubby. But you can just tell with the energy, like, the intention of his writing, like, it's not hateful. And, like, you come to really love that part of the character itself. Like, you love that Granny Weatherwax is an old woman and that she wants to be even uglier, you know? And you love that Magritte has tangled, messy hair. And when she tries to look like a makeup, she makes herself look worse. And you like that Isabelle looks just kind of like dead and flabby and lifeless. Like, because it just becomes so part of their lives. And it's not written as like a ding against them. Like, he's not describing these women in these ugly ways to make them into villains or to make the reader dislike them. He's just describing them as they are in a way that almost makes it charming. Like, it's just, I don't know, you just never see, you see that with men all the time. I feel like, but with women, very rarely not. Usually if they're going into detail about like more stereotypically unattractive features on a woman, the whole point that they're doing that is to make the reader not like them for some reason. That is not what's going on here at all. And I really, really enjoy that. It's so fun. Yes, a very human touch. One of the best things about Terry Pratchett is the narrator himself is a character. He goes off on silly tangents like a tour guide constantly. That's true. There are like multiple asides throughout the story. And he'll kind of address the reader to explain something that's happening in the Discworld. And it's usually just like a quick little pun or observation that's just funny. It's just to interject a little bit of humor into the scene on top of an already humorous scene. That's what I tell HR, but no. But that's what I'm saying is I don't know how he does it. It's just so masterful. There's like a love that he puts into the characters that you can just tell like that it's coming from a loving place, you know? And I think, you know what it is? I think what it is that he's really pulling from people that he's met. I say tropes, but just like the type of people that you actually meet and their physicality. And it just feels like he's met these people in his life and he's loved them and he's cherished them and found them fascinating with all of their faults and all of the good things about them, the attractive things, the unattractive things. He's just really loved all of it. And then he creates this character inspired by these people he's met in his real life, and he describes every facet of them with fascination and care. I feel like I'm being too dramatic, but it really is masterful. You just have to trust me. You have to read these books and you'll see what I mean. So obviously you're describing some of the old hag types of witches, but are there any of the cute pointy-hatted maiden types? Not that I've met, but I think that there is later. It's kind of a cultural thing within the Discworld. The witches kind of want to be ugly. Like if you have warts and stuff, you're like a more respected witch. Like a witch wouldn't necessarily want to be dainty. So, but I do think you meet one later, but I just haven't gotten to her yet. Magritte is a little bit younger. Yeah, Magritte is different, but she's a new witch, so she has new ideals. A younger witch. Don't say boo! Yeah. So where do I rank the Wyrd sisters? This is so hard because I liked them all so much. I really liked them all. Which of the three witch types would you be? I don't know. I guess I'd be closest to Magritte, but I'd rather be a Granny Weatherwax. It's sometimes implied that they are at some points and then they get uglier with age on purpose. Yeah, exactly. They don't want to be pretty. You know what? I definitely liked this one just as much as or did I like it as much as I liked Mort? I'm gonna put it at the top of A tier. So next we've got pyramids. Pyramids, once again, we veer off to a new group of people. Crap, I've forgotten the main character's name in Pyramids. It's like a short version of a long name. Tepik? Yes, Tepik. Tepik. So, Pyramids is a weird book. Pyramids is very weird. So Pyramids follows Tepik. Tepik is the son of a royal family in, like, think like an Egypt-like nation. They build pyramids there for their dead. But it's extra unique because the royal family, like, his father is considered to be a god and have godlike powers, and he's considered to be responsible for, like, the rising and the setting of the sun. And Tepik decides that he wants to leave and become an assassin. So Tepik leaves to go to assassin school in Ankh-Morpork. And at this point I was like, this is gonna be great. I think I'm gonna like this. It felt very tropey. At first that's what I thought he was doing. You guys know all those, like, maybe this was too ahead of its time. I mean, not ahead of its time, but maybe, like, this kind of book wasn't popular yet, so I should have seen it coming. You know how, like, nowadays there's all those fantasy novels where, like, they go to, like, assassin school or thief school or under magic guild, and it's like, you know, fish out of water protagonist goes to this really hard, like, rigorous school that's, like, a little bit evil, and they have to learn how to do this particular skill, and it's, like, deadly and harsh, and, you know, then there's, like, some more overarching plot, usually tied with, like, their heritage and who they truly are, and that kind of thing. I just find it very boring. It's so redundant. It's so overdone. At first, I thought that's what he was parodying, but I actually think that that kind of trend took off after this book came out, so I should have not thought that. Yeah, I think it might have just been a parody on boarding schools in general. Yes, absolutely think Arya from Game of Thrones, yes. Yes, very guilty of that. Or, oh, do you think that's where it started? Is that where it started from? You might be right. Anyways, I digress. I thought it was gonna go into kind of a parody of all of those tropes, but it very quickly shifts gears. And it ends up being about Tepik going back home after his father dies. And now he has to retake over his kingdom and, like, quote unquote, like, become the god of that kingdom. And there's all this chaotic stuff going on, basically because his father did not want to waste a bunch of money being buried in a pyramid like all of his ancestors, but Tepik is being forced to build a pyramid for his father's funeral. And it's weird. It's weird to describe the plot of this because I feel like describing it dryly like that doesn't actually capture, like, the energy or the tone of the book. If I'm gonna be honest, this was by far my least favorite of the books so far. Yeah, and there's time travel involved. I didn't like it. This goes in D tier for me. I thought Tepik was a really boring character. You meet he meets a girl, and she felt very derivative of other Terry Pratchett characters as well, so she was very boring. I forget what her name was, his half-sister. And it definitely got esoteric, is that the word? It definitely got a little too esoteric with, like, the time travel and, like, him being a god and releasing gods, and I don't know. Yes, Tracy, thank you, Tracy. I just felt like Tracy was really boring. Tepik was boring. I never really cared about him. His personality was really hard to pinpoint, Personally, I found this to be the weakest of the books. I would never recommend starting with this book. I really didn't like it. I also didn't like the format of the book. Like, the very beginning of it is a bunch of very, very short chapters switching between, like, timelines. And there's a lot about this book that I think was very intentional. I don't want to give you the impression that it was, like, messy. Like, when you finish the book, you look back on it and you're like, I understand why he did all of the things that he did, and he was definitely creating a cohesive story. And if somebody said that they loved it, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised. I just didn't like it personally. It just wasn't for me. I don't know. I definitely felt myself trudging through this one, and this was the only time so far in the first 10 books that I've read that I was like, when am I gonna be done with this? When am I gonna be done? I think this is the ancient societies, I think this is the beginning of a line of books, right? I'm a little bit nervous to read whatever one comes next in this, because I didn't really like pyramids very much. But you never know. We could make a turnaround. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Small Gods is next, and it's way better. Oh, you know, I have heard good things about Small Gods. Well, we'll see if I like it, but I'm a little nervous going into it, because I didn't really enjoy pyramids. Alright. Next is guards. I always want to call it guards. It's actually just 2 guards. It's just guards. And this is the first in the City Watch series. Once again, we take we move to a new grouping of characters. City Watch is a very fun book. So City Watch takes us back to Ankh-Morpork, that city that I've talked to you guys about several times now, and it follows the motley crew of Night Watch guards that protect the city. It's very good. I really enjoyed this one. This one had kind of an extended character cast, and I really liked all of them and felt like they were all very well characterized, and I enjoyed spending time with every single one of them. I particularly liked Carrot. So let me sell you on Carrot. Carrot is... This is not a spoiler. Carrot is very clearly, from the very beginning, the lost prince of Ankh-Morpork. And he has been raised by dwarves. He's 6 foot tall and bulky. Just think like natural muscle man. He's so much taller than all the other dwarves. They start to think, this isn't good. We need to get him around humans. So they mistakenly come under the impression that the City Watch at Ankh-Morpork is like this really highly respectable place to send someone. And Carrot is a hardworking, earnest boy. And earnest dwarf. Yes, he is a dwarf. A good, simple lad. And he goes off to Ankh-Morpork to join the City Watch, and he takes it very seriously. Little does he know that the City Watch is treated as a joke. People do not take them seriously, and arguably, they haven't really been taking their job all that seriously for a very long time either. Now, that's not due to lack of character or lack of good intent. It's just kind of the way that the culture has come about. A big thing that you should know about Ankh-Morpork is, and this comes up several times throughout all of the books, there is something called the Thieves Guild. So crime is permitted, basically, in Ankh-Morpork under certain situations. So the patrician who runs the city, they realized that you could have a better crime rate if you just kind of set the crime rate and said, we keep the crime rate at this rate. We allow exactly this much crime. And then if anybody tries to steal outside of the Thieves Guild who has not been given permission to steal, then they handle it themselves. And the thieves basically, you know, are like, how dare you steal? You're not in the Thieves Guild. You weren't allowed to steal that. So yeah, there's a crime quota. It's a very interesting take. It's very fun. But it's also, you know, kind of created this thing with characters like Vimes, who is the head of the City Watch, who actually is like an earnest, like, want to do good, want to make his society better type guy, but he feels kind of helpless. And, you know, there's also a lot of alluding to, you know, a past sordid love life. So he's just kind of washed up cop, basically. Wow. Think of it like that. And he's, yeah, cynical bastard is a good way to put it. But deep down, there, like, he does want to be an investigator. He does want to fight crime, but they just don't really, like, the culture's not really set up for that. Of course, Carrot comes in and turns everything upside down on its head. And also there's a dragon in the city, so yeah, also there's a dragon. There's so much about this book that I really, really like and thought was very, very fun. This is a fantastic book. I also think this would be a good place to start. I really liked so much about this book. The main reason the City Watch struggles so much is that it's just common knowledge that enforcing the law is silly when the patrician changes weekly. The patrician? But the patrician doesn't change weekly, right? The patrician has been doing his thing for so long now. The patrician is a very fun character. And he's a nice foil to Vimes. Vimes is super idealistic, ironically. Yeah, that's why Vimes and the Patrician are a good... Yeah, Lord Vetinari. They're a good foil to each other because they both see the world in kind of a negative way, but from completely different angles, which is very fun. Pyramids is when the Patrician last changed. Oh yeah, I forgot that. It did change weekly until Veterinary. Okay. I'm remembering that now. Okay, thank you. Vimes is head of the Night Watch. The Day Watch is separate at this point, and they look down on the Night Watch. Oh, did I say that wrong? Did I say he was head of the Day Watch? I meant to say Night Watch if I said Day Watch. Or I might have said City Guard. Is that why you're saying that? But yes, yeah. It is important to note that those are two different things. Night Watch, Day Watch, within the City Guard. This book is very fun. It has some tense, like, nice action scenes in it. There's like a little bit of a mystery that's pretty easy to solve. Like you'll know who the big bad is by the time it comes. But it's still fun to kind of figure it out for yourself. Like I said, a big cast. They're all really likable. Particularly Carrot, my boy. And there's just a lot of little threads, little story threads all weaved together, which is one of my favorite things that a story can do. I really, really liked Guards. I have to put it in S tier. I did like it. I'm gonna put it behind Sourcery. Guards was very, very good. And I'm super looking forward to getting to the next series in the City Watch. So the next book is Eric. This will be the last one we will be ranking today. I liked when Carrot threw the book at him. Yeah, throw the book at him. Carrot doesn't understand, wait, what do you call those? Metaphor. So the next one is Eric. This is another Rincewind book. This one is short, it's sweet, it's very fun. You know, I don't know, I haven't seen people talking about Eric, but I have a feeling that people write off Eric. I have a sneaking suspicion that people write off Eric. But Eric is a really solid book. I very much enjoyed it. It was short, it was sweet, it was fun. It had my man Rincewind being peak man failure. The depictions of hell and demons was super fun. Very, very funny. Eric is very unmemorable. I disagree. I thought Eric was a really fun character. So, okay, this is what happens in Eric. So, when we... Oh, this is kind of a spoiler, though. I'll say it vaguely. Basically, where we leave Rincewind, he's in a bit of a predicament. And Eric is a young boy who has a talent for the occult and demonology. And he accidentally, like, summons Rincewind, becomes under the impression that Rincewind is a demon that he has summoned and is now under his control and demands wishes of Rincewind. Rincewind, of course, is not a demon, but it seems that he somehow has got the ability to grant these wishes. Or these wishes, question mark? I can't say anything more than that without spoiling it, but it's basically like Rincewind's adventures with this little kid who is very funny and charming in his own right. I really liked it. I thought it was fun. Would read again. Would recommend if you like Rincewind. I don't think it's unmemorable. I thought it had some really nice moments in it. I liked it. But there's much less great quotes or things that just come back up later on, so it's easy to forget about it in the long run. I see. I'm not enough into the Discworld fandom yet to know like what are like the big quotable moments for people. So I guess it's possible that my mind could change as I go on to read other things. Perhaps I will forget about it. It is one of the most recent ones that I read, so maybe I'm a little bit biased right now. But I like it, and I'm gonna put it in beats here. Behind equal rights. Now, I'm actually on moving pictures right now, which I am also very much enjoying. Moving pictures is very fun so far, but I'll save ranking that until we do our next one, because I haven't quite finished it yet. B for buggy coded. Rincewind can be a little bit buggy coded, I'm not gonna lie. Alright. Yay, we did it! Have I convinced even one person to check out Discworld? And if I have, what book do you think you will start with? Yay! I actually bought Color of Magic an hour ago. Let's go! I'll go in the order you did. Let's go! It was way more interesting than I expected to listen to. They're so crazy. They're really wacky. You can't read? Then how did you write this? Did you use, like, the speaker function? Did you talk into your phone? He can write, not read. No! Text to speech, it's killing literacy! I'm getting Color of Magic 2 to check it out. Let's go! Yay! I actually abandoned reading the series a long while back, but I'm inspired to pick it back up. I hope you do, and I hope you like it. You got me really curious with Guards. Guards is really good. I do highly recommend it. It's very fun. I'll start with Mort, I think. Good choice. It's a good choice. You do get commission for all these books, right? I don't need commission. This is not the power I seek. I just seek the power of influence. Going Postal is the book I have the strongest and most mixed feelings on. I would love to know what you think if and when you get to it. I will absolutely be reading Going Postal. And when I do my next set of like 10, I will do another ranking stream and we'll continue the rankings from here. So I definitely plan for this to be an ongoing series. The writing style changes as the books go on. The first 6 to 8 books have a noticeably different style before Pratchett finds his groove. I'm excited to keep reading, and then, yeah, maybe because I've only experienced these early books, when I hear people say stuff like that, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. These books are great. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. But maybe as I do keep reading, I'll see for myself, like, oh, okay, this is why people like these later books so much more. You can't wait for Carpe Jugulum? I got a long way to go for that, don't I? Let's see, what are my next books? I'm reading them in release order, so... Next, I will read Reaper Man. Once I finish Moving Pictures, I'll read Reaper Man, then Witches Abroad, then Small Gods, then Lords and Ladies, Men at Arms, Soul Music, Interesting Times, Masquerade, Feet of Clay, Hogfather, Jingo, The Last Continent, and then we get to Carpe Jugulum. So a lot in the middle there that I've never even heard of, so that'll be fun. Hogfather would be great for Christmas. Is it a Christmas book? Okay. Oh, I see. It is a Christmas book. It's Death in a Santa Cloak. Okay, I'll try to time that for Christmas then. Can I make it there by Christmas? Probably. Yeah. Yeah, I bet I could. I'll try to get Hogfather for Christmas. That sounds very fun. All right, I have walked 6 miles. Can you stop yourself from reading it before Christmas? Wow. I'll just try to space it out so that I get to it around Christmas. I just grabbed the first 5. I'll get started as soon as possible. Let's go! Oh, I really hope you guys like them. I really hope you do. Let me know. Feel free to keep me updated on how you're enjoying the series so far as you read them. I would love to hear from you. Hi, baby. Did the treadmill help with your energy? No, I'm exhausted. I'm gonna take a shower and then lay down. What do you mean exercising didn't make me feel less tired? What the? Yeah, if you hear the scratching, that's him trying to make biscuits on my treadmill right now. He's probably the reason that it's being wonky. Yeah, at least I got my steps in, you know. I'm like 80 something miles ahead on my walking challenge right now. I'm almost to Bree, you guys. I'm almost to Bree from Bag End, so very exciting. Sorry if this has been kind of a low energy stream, but I hope you guys had fun. Thanks for letting me yap about something once again that I really like. Thank you for letting me yap about something niche in the VTuber community that I really, really like. What's the overlap between VTuber watchers and Discworld fans? Well, wherever that overlap is, send them to me. All of them are right here. Yeah, all of you are right here. I've ensnared you. You're mine now. I like to think that maybe any Discworld fans that already found my... Because you guys got me into this in the first place. Perhaps it is also my subtle and smart sense of humor that ensnared you. Perhaps I, too, am very funny. Runatics say it's true. Runatics say it's... No, don't use the clown emoji. Just say it's... Yeah, my keen wit. My dry humor. Say it's true. Lie to me, lie to me. It's my footnotes. You haven't even gotten those yet. No footnotes until 100K. It's Trie. You can't even spell the word right. It's so hard for you to lie. You aren't funny. This is a lie. No. Tomorrow I will not be streaming. I hope to have a video for you guys. We'll see how it goes. But I'm also not streaming on Thursday. Gomenne. But on Friday, we are headed straight back into Resident Evil 1 world. It is time for us to choose how we may die. Now on Saturday, I do have to say, I may end up not doing the other stream that I planned. Yeah, on Saturday I was gonna luck farm. It's gonna kind of depend on my schedule because I had kind of forgotten that I have to go out of town next week. So there's a few things that I really need to do and I'm just not sure if I can get them done. However, I will still be streaming on Saturday no matter what because we are playing Repo that night. So after the new, the debuts of the new invaders, a group of us will be playing Repo. So you'll get to see me on Saturday no matter what. But I don't know if I'll do my earlier stream. It's really gonna come down to whether I can get stuff done in time or not. I'm kind of leaning towards no because what I need to do is record. And as you guys know, I get really particular about recording. So I just have a feeling that I'm gonna end up recording all day long and I'm not gonna get it done in time. But we'll see. I hope you guys are hyped for new invaders. Yes. Yes, the debuts are this weekend. They're this Saturday. And then on Saturday, we're going to be watching some Idolmaster together. Yay! Yay, 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 yay. They are. It's a basement breach. But yeah. Wow. I guess it's, what's that thing that I always say? It's bittersweet. But the time has come for me to say farewell. Give glory to the runes, for my love and affection is forever with you. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. See you Friday.